Welcome to rSlash Am I the Devil, where OP gets exactly what he deserves. Our next Reddit post comes from rSlash Relationship Advice. I'm a 35-year-old guy and I cheated on my 36-year-old wife. She left without telling me anything. How can I get her back? I know, I'm aware of my faults. I know I screwed up. She and I had something beautiful. She's still the love of my life. We were together for 10 years. We dated for 2 years and then married for 8 years. However, I made a huge mistake and cheated on her. It was just once, just one damn time. Somehow she found out. I never knew how because I haven't been able to talk to her since then. I guess she found something on my phone. I came home that afternoon as usual, and everything felt weird. The house felt emptier. I quickly realized that her things were gone. I panicked. I started calling her over and over, but her phone didn't even ring. Suddenly, I saw some papers on the table. She's divorcing me. Under the divorce papers, there was a note that said, "This is what you do with cheaters." That was the last thing that I got from her, which was 2 years ago. Of course, I called the contact information for her lawyer, who's been the only bridge between us. But he just told me that he's her legal representative and that she didn't want to see me. I fought, I got angry, but in the end, her lawyer just told me that it would be better if I got my own lawyer. I didn't want to. I absolutely refused to accept that 10 years of relationship would end like this. I know that I failed, but I want to fix it. I know that if she gave me the chance, I could make that sweet and special girl I met more than 10 years ago fall in love with me again. I know that I can make her forgive me. After all, many other couples go through similar things and get over it. Why can't we be one more couple in that statistic? Why, after 8 years of marriage, am I thrown away like garbage for a mistake? I don't deserve so much indifference. I haven't been able to see her or even hear her voice in 2 years. 2 years of not being able to see or talk to the person you love the most is too much of a punishment. This situation has destroyed me emotionally, mentally, and even physically. I ended up consuming an unhealthy amount of alcohol, weeks of barely eating, not sleeping. I was a zombie for months, just functioning automatically. I wanted to die, but I couldn't let myself die because I always held on to hope that she would come back. My therapist says that it's really hard when you can't get closure from a relationship because your mind can't process that the relationship is over. So you're always thinking that person will knock on the door or that you'll wake up from sleep and they'll be by your side. The divorce was finalized over a year ago. I'll be honest, I didn't make it easy. I didn't want to get divorced, and I still don't understand how we could be divorced. I asked for couples therapy, but she refused. I know that my lawyer and her lawyer advised her to go at least once or twice, but she refused. It took quite a while, but the divorce finally happened. I can't even describe the feeling. I felt, and still feel, like a piece of me had been cut out. I know that I hurt her. I know that I failed, but I think that we all deserve a second chance. When I couldn't take the pain anymore, I decided to start therapy. My therapist doesn't give me advice to get her back. He only focuses on me moving on with my life, encouraging me to meet new people and go out on dates. But I don't want to. At this point, I'm not even interested in intercourse anymore. A few days ago, something happened that completely shattered me. I was having a few beers at my house with my friend, Nick. We were both pretty drunk. I started talking about my wife, and he said to me, "You should put more effort into getting over her. She's over you and is happy having a life away from you. You should do the same. You can't live in this self-pity all your life." Something in his words hit me, but not in the way he expected. He spoke with a lot of confidence that my wife is over me and is happy now. But how does he know that? At this point, I got angry and started pressuring him to talk. He refused, so I pressed as hard as I could. I cried. I begged him to tell me if he knew something. I needed to know something about her. Until he finally told me. Nick's wife has been in contact with my wife for the last year. They were great friends, and I remember his wife being very sad about losing contact with my wife. It turns out that my wife went to live in Norway, got married to a guy there, and is about 7 months pregnant. I felt like dying. I literally felt like dying with this information. How could she do this to me? How could it be that while I was crying, getting drunk, missing her and wanting to die every day, she was happily on the other side of the world, getting married, screwing, and getting pregnant by another guy? How could it be that she didn't have a child with me in many, many years, to the point that I thought that she was infertile? But she got pregnant by this new guy so easily? Where'd this guy come from? I have no answers for absolutely anything, and I feel like I can't go on with my life without these answers. The only thing I can think of is that she had revenge intercourse with the first Norwegian guy she came across, and then got pregnant and decided to keep the baby. Maybe she got married because she wanted to stay in that country legally, and I guess like in most countries, getting married is a good option for that. I don't know, these thoughts are killing me. I refuse to think that she's in love with him. I need to contact her. I need to talk to her. I need to know what's going on, because she acts like our 10-year history and 8-year marriage is nothing to her. I need advice on how to act. I feel the impulse to travel to where she is and look for her, but how could I do that? I don't know what city she's in. I don't know where she lives. I don't have a number to contact her. She closed her social media. Her family is small. They don't live in the same country as me, and all of them blocked me. I'm totally lost. I don't know what to do at this point. I still want her back. Yes, even if she's pregnant. I feel like this is a nightmare and I need to wake up now. Wow. You know, you come across a lot of stories of people who are just overwhelmingly self-centered and entitled, but Jesus, man, the just selfishness drips through this post. He starts off the post by saying, "Yeah, I made a mistake and I'm really sorry, but oh, how could this happen to me? I made my mistakes." Wah. He's like a whiny baby. Damn, man. I'm amazed this lady lasted 10 years, because even putting the cheating aside, this guy seems insufferable. Then OP posted an update. Some people are asking why Norway. I don't know exactly, but she is a polyglot. She speaks 6 languages. Norwegian is just one of them. She's always been interested in Norwegian culture. Regarding the update, the first thing I'll say is that this post reached some people in my circle. Nick's wife, Sabrina, has a sister who uses Reddit. She knows the story, and she realized this post was from me. She told her sister, Sabrina. Now, Sabrina is angry at Nick for revealing the information, and Nick is angry at me for posting on Reddit because he says that I pressured him to talk. Which, to be fair, OP did. I'm angry at my friend and his wife for being 2 a-holes who watched me suffer for 2 years and decided not to help me. They didn't care about my marriage. Why should I care about their marriage? Sabrina could have given me my wife's phone number a long time ago, but she decided to prioritize her friendship with my ex instead of helping 2 friends mend their marriage. Meanwhile, no one cared about my feelings. I'm done with them at this point. Regarding my ex-wife, I've been thinking a lot. She can't just disappear. I convinced myself that if I searched hard enough, I could find something related to her. I follow some of her relatives from a fake Instagram account, but I never found anything related to her. I searched a lot, really a lot, and found a name that I hadn't seen before, but that hadn't caught my attention until then. It was a lady with a name that's not typical in the United States or my wife's home country. She's not American. And it had a very strange last name. I followed her profile to her Facebook page, and she is indeed a lady from Norway. I checked everything I could on this profile. I was convinced that she had something to do with my wife. How else would a relative of hers have this woman in their friends list? I saw a lot of pictures, until I came across a picture of my ex dressed as a bride hugging a guy. I had to translate the text from Norwegian, and the lady was congratulating her son on his wedding. There were a few more pictures, not many. There were even some members of my ex's family in the wedding pictures. The dates of these pictures were from a year ago. A year ago, she married this guy. I don't understand. How could this happen so fast? When did she meet him? I honestly thought that she got married after she got pregnant, not before. This baffles me even more. In the picture, the same guy with his hands on her shoulders, hugging her. And this picture was in February from 23. To be clear, she left in May 2022. How could she be with someone in February 2023? What, buddy, that's 9 months later. Only 9 months, and she's already in a stable enough relationship that he's introduced her to his family? What the hell is going on here? I feel like I have even more questions in my head now. I know that I shouldn't be upset, but I am. I know that I lost her because I was an idiot, but it's hard to get this feeling out of my head right now. Anyways, for those of you who imagine my ex is with some kind of Norwegian Chris Hemsworth, let me tell you, it is not like that. The guy is too tall, too blonde, too pale. And his hair is too long and kinda chunky, to be honest. he looks like an old cartoon of a Viking and is definitely not a Chris Hemsworth. I managed to find his Facebook profile, but he has almost nothing there. His profile says that he's an engineer who wears metal band t-shirts at the age of 38. I don't know how to take this because I'm an engineer myself, just in a different field. Why would she look for a man with the same profession as me? My wife has always liked heavy metal bands, which I always found nasty, but I never complained. After all, your partner doesn't have to have the same musical taste as you. I mention this because maybe this is the way they connected. She used to connect easily with people who like the same type of music. I don't know, but I honestly look at it and think, where did she get this guy from? I mean, he can definitely do better than this. Wow, rude. The pregnancy thing still messes with my head. I try not to think about it. I can't understand it. I'm not infertile like some of you commenters suggest. I've been to the doctor and I know that I'm not. But God, it kills me to think that she's going to have another man's child. I don't get it. I feel like this is beyond anything I ever imagined. And no, I'm not going to go to Norway. I'm not going to try to contact her. I still want to see her and talk to her, but I obviously can't force her to do that. I have too much to deal with right now and too much to talk about in therapy. And if by any chance this post reaches my ex, I want you to know that I still love you. You know where to contact me. And if by any chance this post reaches the new dude, I want you to know the only reason you have a chance with this woman is because a big idiot halfway across the world completely ruined it. You most probably met a You most probably met a woman who was probably very broken from her divorce. You took advantage of her situation and trapped her with a baby. You don't know how to play fair. Sabrina and Nick, F you. Oh God. This guy, this absolute doofus. This whole post, start to finish, is just one long, exhausting pity party. But I don't feel an ounce of pity for this dude. He cheated. He literally effed around, and then he found out. My favorite thing about this is, I'll bet you money, I bet you this woman literally just doesn't think about her husband. Maybe like once a month. Meanwhile, this guy is straight up obsessing over her. And she's like, oh yeah, that guy I used to be married to? Well, whatever. I've got a happy new life now, so I'm not going to think about him. Our next Reddit post comes from r/Am I the Butthole? Am I the butthole for moving in with my partner? So I'm a 39-year-old guy, and I'm in a predicament where I honestly don't know if I'm in the wrong. I have a job that requires me to travel a lot for work. I also have a 9-year-old daughter, and this means that I'm away from her for long stretches of time. On one of my trips away, my wife died very suddenly of an aneurysm. It was a very traumatic event for everyone, especially my daughter. She was 6 at the time, and whoa, she was alone in the house with my wife's body for a day before her sister visited and found them. I got a frantic call from my wife's sister, but because of the circumstances of everything at the time, I couldn't get home for a week. I regret this immensely looking back. My daughter was extremely fragile and didn't understand what was happening, just that her mom was gone and daddy wasn't there. She was bounced between family members until I finally got home. I say all of this to explain that my daughter has been incredibly clingy ever since, and thus may not be reacting appropriately. On one of my more recent business trips, I was reunited with one of my dear friends from college, Sam, a 37-year-old guy. Sam and I were admittedly very close and had a few flings in college. Seeing him again reignited everything, and for the first time since my wife died, I genuinely felt happy and loved. On that business trip, we got together. I also learned that he's not doing very well financially, and he's trying to find a place to stay. It was admittedly fast, but I just felt so much joy with him that I immediately invited him to move into my home. When we came back together though, my daughter became very upset, shouting about how I'm replacing her mother, which is not my intention at all. She also said that she doesn't want Sam in the house. I told her that it was my decision and that Sam was staying. However, since then, my daughter's nanny has been noticeably colder towards me, and my late wife's family has also come out of the woodwork to tell me that I'm wrong. My family, however, is happy for me and think that I deserve to have the happiness that Sam gives me. So, am I the butthole? OP, having a one-night stand with someone and then inviting them into your home to live with you and your 9-year-old daughter is bonkers? I'm not saying that OP doesn't deserve happiness because, it's nice that OP found love again and everything. But we have safety to consider here. Between abandoning your daughter for a week during the most traumatic experience of her life and moving in a one-night stand to live with her, it really sounds like you just don't care about your daughter at all. Our next Reddit post comes from r/confessions. The title of this post is, I sexually assaulted my sister while she was asleep. I don't know how to start this, but basically, we were going on our yearly family vacation. Last year, we went to Las Vegas. Me and my sister shared a room, and me, being so stupid, was just curious and had thoughts. I got up and, I touched her. I didn't even remember it until last month when I randomly thought about it. I threw up. I felt so sick ever since I remembered this happened. No one knows, and I feel like I'm lying to everyone about who I really am. I can barely sleep at night since it's on my mind so much, which is why I'm posting this. I need to know what I'm supposed to do. I'm not touching this one, which is advice that OP should have learned. Please seek therapy, OP. That was rSlash and if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also, hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit videos every single day.